Good morning, crafty friends. Hello and happy Tuesday. It's a Monday kind of Tuesday around here because yesterday was Labor Day here in the US, so we had the day off. And now we're coming in with our release day right away. It's kind of crazy when it happens first thing on a Tuesday, which is actually our first day of the week. So welcome to our crazy. You guys are very excited about this release, so you must have watched our product reveal over the weekend to see everything that was coming this week. And if you didn't, you could still catch that video on our YouTube channel. I believe it is up there now, and also on Fans of Tailored Expressions if you're wondering more about these products that released today, and kind of a fun theme for this release. So this release is called Pick Your Pairings, and that means these products that we created were all suggestions from you guys, our amazing customers, which I love. I love reading things that you want to go with things that you already have. So that's why we call it Pick Your Pairings. You are suggesting pairings for products we already have. So maybe we have a stamp that you love and you wish it came in a foilet, or we have a sentiment that you love, but we don't have dies for it. So those are the kind of things that we were producing with this release, and I loved seeing your suggestions, and it was such a tough decision. We had hundreds and hundreds of submissions, and I read each and every one of them. And if your idea was not selected, it doesn't mean it was a bad idea. So when we continue to do this in the future, please suggest your ideas again. If there's something that you still want and you think others would love to have as well, keep putting it out there because it just might not have been the right time for it. So yes, we're gonna craft together today. I'm gonna talk a little bit about our promotion, but before I do that, let me say hi to some people. Hello, Amrita's here. Hi, Cynthia out in North Carolina. Sally in Michigan, your order is already in. Nice work, Sally. Hello, Jennifer up in Canada. Hi, Deneen in Kansas City. Anna's here in Southern California. Hi, Lori. Vicky's here this morning. Louise, Karen, Trisha, Joan. You guys are all tuning in for the fun today. Did you have a nice Labor Day weekend? If you were off this weekend celebrating the long holiday weekend, what did you do? Did you have any fun? We had some fun over the weekend. We, of course, had a few sleepovers happening with our girls and their friends, and then a sleepover at Grandma's house. And then yesterday, we took the family to the zoo. We met up with Whitney and her kids and husband there, and it was so fun. It was such a nice day. We enjoyed, they have a little train that goes around the Des Moines Zoo, so we rode the train, which Henry loves. Choo-choo. We taught him how to say choo-choo, and it came out more like toot-toot, but it was great. I loved it either way. So that's what we were up to this weekend. Really actually kind of a relaxing weekend before we get into the real crazy of the fall season. So hopefully you guys had a good one as well. Okay, well, let's talk about that promotion. So I did talk about it on our release reveal video, and my apologies. I was not quite as specific as I should have been about this promotion that we're offering. So I'm gonna talk about it again, and this time I'm gonna get all the details out there. So let me flip down here. As you guys know, it is now September, which means we have switched to a new $100 freebie. This is our freebie that is good with purchases of $100 or more from anything on our entire website. And you can earn this all month long. So this is called Come On and Celebrate, and it is a die that says the word celebrate on it, and that's all connected together as one word. And then it has two backer dies, which is kind of interesting. We haven't done that before. Our mega messages have one backer die, but this gives you even more options for creating fun layering with that die set. And we have some fun cards from Jill Hawkins that she created using this Celebrate die. You can see here she just used that connected word in the center of her shaker. Look how fun that is. And then over here, she used all of the pieces. So she has that backer, or I'm sorry, that Celebrate that she stamped with the stars. And then she used the backers to create a shadow and two additional colors out from her words. So I think all of those are very fun. And that is your free gift when you spend $100 or more, and that will continue on through the month of September. So let's talk about our promotion that is specific to this release. And that's what I forgot to say for the release reveal, that this is our promotion for today only, and it is specific to our Pick Your Pairings release. When you purchase $100 or more specifically from the new Pick Your Pairings release category, you are going to get this shout out birthday embossing folder. Look at how fun this is. It has all of the birthday words: hip hip hooray, wish big, happy birthday, celebrate, make a wish. Great words in there. It makes a great background or even a focal piece for your project as well. I had Susan emboss and blend over this piece, and I think it looks so fun, of course, in a rainbow. So this is your free item when you purchase $100 or more from the Pick Your Pairings category today only. So I know what your question is. What if we purchase $100 from the Pick Your Pairings category and we earn this? Do we also get this? The answer is yes, because this is site-wide. Anything is available to earn that $100 freebie, and this one is just from the Pick Your Pairings. So if you get $100 from Pick Your Pairings, you're going to get both of these. If you get $100 from some Pick Your Pairings and some elsewhere on the website, then you're just going to get this. And you will know because the items will be added automatically to your cart depending on what you qualify for. So if you see Come On and Celebrate in your cart, then you know you've earned that. And if you see the Shout Out Birthday in your cart, then you know you've earned that. And if you don't see them there, then your order did not qualify. So hopefully all of that makes sense. And it looks like some of you forgot to add something. Mindy says she forgot to add to her order the Year in Bloom die. Whitney! Oh! I know. It seems like every month we forget about my favorite thing, which is our Year in Bloom stamp and the coordinating die. So thank you for reminding me about that, Mindy. Whitney's going to go grab me one, and I can add it to our little header card. Hard to believe we're in the last row now. So if you're not familiar with this, every order that you place from Tailored Expressions, you will get a free stamp. And we change that out each month. So in September, you will get our September freebie. It comes with a sticker as well. So you can place that sticker on your header card and then place your stamp on the back. Now, what Mindy is talking about that she forgot is we also have coordinating dies for these stamps. They come out at the first of the month when the freebie switches over, and you can add those to your order if you want the coordinating die to go with the free stamp. We have so many samples that show lots of uses for these without the die. So the idea is not that you have to buy the die, but I know many of you, Mindy included, know the value of having that coordinating die and the different techniques and layouts and things that you can do with it when you do have the die. So Whitney's back now. Let's take a look at what we have for this month. It's time for a Year in Bloom September. I don't even want to say that. Whitney and I were talking this morning, like, I don't even want to utter the word September. Like, how did that happen? So, fun fact, over the summer, my daughter Maddie worked on the packaging team, and her job was to package all of these freebie stamps. So she's obviously in school now and no longer packaging stamps, but over the summer, she probably packaged your freebie stamps. So here we have September, which is the aster. Isn't that pretty? How many September birthdays do we have out there? And did you know that your flower of the month was the aster? Of course, there are a couple different monthly flowers for each month of the year, so maybe you didn't know aster was one of them. Let's go ahead and peel this sticker off. Amrita says the burr months are here. September, October, November, December. Crazy. And also burr, B-U-R-R. I feel like it's going to get colder. At least for us here in the Midwest. We're going to be saying burr soon.
We have an Arctic blast coming this week.
No.
Did you hear about that?
Well, John told me that Thursday was supposed to be cold, but he didn't say the word Arctic,
Well, everywhere else is like in the 90s. So an Arctic blast kind of like just means 60s and sometimes low 50s in the evening.
Okay.
But I was like, holy moly, that is crazy. That seems so fast. It's like September 2nd.
I'm not ready for an Arctic blast yet.
I'm not either. But my sweaters are ready. I love sweaters.
Yeah, I saw a meme out there that said, I might not have nailed bikini season, but I've got sweater season nailed.
Yes!
I am ready for that.
Right!
All right, you guys, this is what it looks like then. I just peeled the backing paper off of the back of the stamp so that it will stick onto the cling mount header card. And this is something that you can also purchase at the Tailored Expressions web store. If you are ordering more than once a month and earning more than one freebie with your order, then you might want to grab a couple of these cards and collect them through the year. When we get done with the last 3 burr months, we will have a full year in bloom. I love it. Okay, should we get to creating?
Yes!
All right, we already showed some samples. Oh, Whitney set this out for me. Just for you, Mindy. Sorry we didn't get to you a little sooner. The Year in Bloom September die. This coordinates with the aster if you want to add this little die to your order. Okay, so we did share lots of samples on our release reveal video. All of those products are in the Pick Your Parents category on the website. The ones that are brand new have a banner on them that say new, and then you'll have to look in our catalog for different products that coordinate with the new products. This is the project we're going to be making today. And I am so excited about these. Lisa actually requested this quilt square stencil, and I love that suggestion. It is similar to our perennial scenes that we did, I guess it was back in March or April maybe, when we did our calendar release. And the perennial scenes had different little floral scenes that you can stencil with a layering stencil, and then cut out and put on calendars. And this one is quilt blocks, which I think is so fun. I went down a whole rabbit trail when we were designing this stencil, looking at barn squares. Those of you that live in the Midwest, give a thumbs up if you know what barn squares are. But that provided some inspiration for these different patterns as well as quilt squares too. So let's get started by blending. If you're not familiar with the perennial scenes stencil that I mentioned, we did the quilt squares in the same way, and it is a large stencil similar to what you would see in a Create in Quad as far as size, where the quads are kind of segmented into 4 different areas. This has 6 different pieces of square artwork on it. And then when you're done, we are going to cut these out with a 3-inch square and then use them on cards. You can also use them on calendars, as I mentioned. They fit great on our calendar, landscape calendar designs. Sorry, I gotta get my, there we go. Get my tape open and we'll tack this down. And I'm gonna start with layer 1 here. And you can see my color combination because I have my ink pads laid out over on the right. I am going to be using, because this is a large scale stencil, I'm going to be using the full-size ink pads with my full-size original glassboard buddy. This is magnetic on the bottom, so it sticks to the surface of your glassboard and kind of wrangles your ink pads, but can also be used as something to put your embellishments in. There's a little pour spout here. The reason why I'm mentioning this is because today we just released the partner in crime for the original magnetic glassboard buddy. We have our mini ink cube glassboard buddy, and it again has a magnetic surface there, and it can fit up to 4 of these mini ink cubes. So just like this, or if you wanted to take the lids off, you can put the lids next to your inks, something like that. I know we had some people over the weekend hoping to fit more ink pads on these, and in order to do that, just grab another one. You can set them up this way. You can line them straight up and around your glass board if you want to do it that way. But this gives you a good start to putting up to 4 mini ink cubes on your little glass board buddy. It also has a pour spout, so if you want to keep using it for your embellishments, you can. All right, looks like Louise ordered the mini glass board buddy. That's awesome. And Amrita says, are we guessing the new color tomorrow? I believe you are. Yes, we have that new color guessing game starting tomorrow. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, we do have a new color launching every, or I guess not every, that'd be crazy, the first Thursday of every month, which happens to be 2 days from now. We will have our color launch. And I think now would be a good time to tell everybody that I've kind of been a little sneaky this month. I haven't said anything about it, and I don't think anybody else has mentioned it either, but I do have a little color sneak peek on the screen for you right now. Anybody want to guess what it is? I love giving little kind of hints, yes, little underhanded sneak peeks that you might not know are sneak peeks. So I've had this on screen for about 3 or 4 weeks now, and yeah, take a guess. We're excited about our new color. I'm not going to tell you the name because you guys get to guess that tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, that will go up on our fan page, Fans of Tailored Expressions on Facebook. So you can head over there, and there will be a game similar to, what is it, like maybe similar to Wheel of Fortune or Scrabble, not Scrabble. What's the one that you play on the...
Password?
No, it's the one on the New York Times app that has the 5 letters.
No. What is it?
Where's my phone? I have it. I have it on my phone. Somebody rescue me. What is the name of that game? It's very popular. Okay, I have my phone because I just can't. New York Times games. What is it? It is Wordle. Ah, yes, it's like Wordle. Thank you, guys. Okay, everybody is screaming Wordle at me. Yeah, so it's kind of like Wordle, except for you don't really get hints. You only get you get one guess. We give you the number of letters, and then you get to guess the color name based on the color. So, all right. Then on Thursday, Susan's going to use that new color in the live. We're going to go over all kinds of details, like how that compares to other colors in our collection, kind of what is our shade sequence with this new color, and we'll go over showing you cardstock comparisons, the Olo marker match we will show you. So you'll definitely want to tune in on Thursday for that. Okay, we are on to layer 2. And this one, once I get those squares lined up, is going to be honey on this layer. Oh, nice, Barb. Very, she's trying to get sneaky. She said, Taylor, what is the name of your polish color? Is there another question, Whit, that I'm...
No.
Okay. All right, so honey across this layer. These are fun patterns to watch come together too, because from just looking at each layer of the stencil, it's just various, triangles and quadrilaterals and squares making these up. So Had to get a big word in there, quadrilaterals. Barbara asked if Sue Banker has a blog or YouTube. She does not. No, Sue works just in-house as a designer for us. We did not find her through kind of the blogging world. She actually lives just here locally in Ankeny, and to my knowledge, does not have a blog where she shows her cards. So if you're looking for up-close pictures, though, a lot of her projects are on the website, and I think you can get pretty close up onto those details. You can always post in the Fans of Tailored Expressions group if you have specific questions about a technique or something that a designer has done on their project. Yeah, Louise says it's stamp geometry. Stencil geometry, putting shapes together to create patterns. All right. Okay, coming in with the third layer.
I wanted to add my thoughts about my favorite part of the zoo.
Oh, okay. What was it?
It was so great. We get on the choo-choo train. You're sitting with Hen. I'm sitting with my son, and then the big kids are in the back, on the back of the train. John and Brett, our husbands, have to share a seat on this tiny tyke train.
Yes.
Y'all, it was hilarious. We took pictures of them.
The two tallest people potentially on the whole train. Our husbands are both pretty tall, so we made them sit like knee to knee in this tiny little train car.
We'll share a picture next week. No, that was so cute.
The boys crammed in. They were good sports, and they let us take a picture of them too.
Yes. And we got a picture with Henry on the train, and he was so happy. It just made my heart burst. They were all enjoying the day, so it's always good to have a day off.
It is.
Just some time for your brain to breathe.
A nice long weekend, and yeah. Okay,
Mindy said, is John taller than you?
Yes, John is taller than I am. That was sort of a requirement for me. I don't know. I just always felt like I couldn't be taller than my partner. So
well, you always like to wear heels too.
I do wear heels. Yep.
Yeah, still now.
John is 6'4", so, and I'm 6'1", so I got, I don't know, 3-inch heels. That's way more than I'm wearing these days. So I'm done with the heel wearing days. But yes, John is taller than me. Is Brett like 6'2",
yes.
3, 6'2"? Yeah. Yes.
They were hilarious in the back seat. Everyone's trying to guess your nail color. It's great.
Pepto Pink, Lisa says. That's funny. Well, I might have to disappoint you and tell you that it's not actually pink. I don't know. Maybe that's not disappointing to me. I'm not disappointed, but I knew that would be everybody's first guess. So, Whitney, how tall are you? Rachel wants to know.
I'm 5'10".
Whitney's 5'10".
And a half.
And a half.
I always tell people, like, oh, I'm 5'10", but then I randomly will have someone else stand next to me who's also 5'10", and I'm taller than them. They're like, no way, you're taller than... So I always have to say 5'10".
And a half. On that off chance you'll meet the other person who's 5'10".
Literally happened to me so many times, I stopped saying 5'10". I just now say 5'10 and a half. But yeah, I'm shorter than Taylor. I never got the full length.
I needed it, so thanks.
True.
All right, that was green tea. Now for the final layer, which adds the excitement. You guys haven't mentioned anything. Like, am I hiding Heather in the background? Because I am blending on Toffee today, and I'm using a color that I cannot remember the last time I pulled out this color, honestly. Actually, Maggie, who works here in our marketing department, has talked about often how this is one of her favorite colors. She uses it like sugar cube, kind of like Heather uses Toffee, but it's her favorite neutral, and that is Buttercream Frosting. And this is a pigment ink, so it's like sugar cube ink that is one of those foam pads, and it sits on top of your cardstock, and it gives you a creamier look. You can even tell on the pad here that it is just a little bit more yellow than the sugar cube, which is a true white. So I'm going to actually pounce this over this layer here, and we're going to get a nice kind of creamy looking design for this final layer. And I know you guys are going to ask, should I wait and see who's the first one, or should I just start talking about this fabulous pouncing tool that I'm using? It has been a while since we have offered these, and I know you guys are excited about them, but I thought it was a good opportunity to get this out in front of everybody to let you know that these are coming to TE this fall. So you don't have to wait too much longer. Those of you who are at Stamp Joy, we are anxiously awaiting the arrival of our shipment so that you can be the first to grab your set of pigment pouncers. So this is a foam top on this. It has a nice, it's very similar to our detail blender brushes in that the color is the same, and it has that same soft finish on it. So if you love the finish on our detail blender brushes, it's the same on our pigment pouncers. And then they do say share joy on them. I personally like using them for pigment inks more than I do for the dye-based inks, because they're going to wash out a little bit better with pigment inks. And I don't love to use blender brushes for pigment inks because I feel like they catch on my stencil and paper a little bit more with those, I know goopier isn't a nice word to probably hear me say, I don't know, goopier inks. They apply a little bit better by pouncing rather than dragging the ink over the surface.
Yeah, it's great with sugar cube. April just said great with sugar cube too.
Yes. Do you want to grab a sugar cube? Because I might just set it up here next to the buttercream and let you guys see kind of the difference in color. If you also have not jumped on the buttercream before, I think it is a really great color, especially for these more rustic projects. So if I open this pad up, you see the difference there? You just get a little bit more creamy color with that buttercream frosting, a little more yellow to it than the white of the sugar cube. And we do have buttercream frosting paper as well, cardstock, which I'll be using on my sentiments because I wanted the whole thing to have that creamier, yellower look. We're almost there. Okay, should we peek underneath? Let's take a look before I pull it completely off and make sure. Look at that. Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty.
Now, do you need to re-ink your buttercream more often if you're using it with the sugar cube, I guess I should say too?
Yeah, it kind of depends on what you're doing. I like to have a pretty well inked pad when I'm doing pouncing. But I know Heather has taught before, and I agree with her, that when you're using a pigment ink pad with a background stamp, you really do want it to be a little dry. If your ink pad is really wet, you're going to get that goopy ink all in the crevices of your stamp. And then when you stamp it down, it tends to pool on your paper. And So yeah, I think it's a balance between not too dry, but not too much ink on there. All right, there it is. Yes, it definitely does. Monica says it makes it pop. So, and Oma says, love that stencil. Great idea from Lisa again. And we had lots of fun kind of partnerships in our suggestions this time. Wait, can you grab alcohol? I guess I don't have a spray bottle here. I was going to clean this off. So yeah, we had lots of fun little partnerships that happened. Lisa suggested this stencil, and then we had another person, let me remind myself her name, Carrie. Carrie asked for sewing themed sentiments to go with some of our previously released pieced patterns kits and kit elements that we've released in the past. And so those two happen to work really well together to create these kind of quilt themed cards. So the sentiments were actually Carrie's idea, and then Lisa suggested these. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and let that ink dry before we run it through our die cut machine and cut all of these out. Instead, I am going to take the Crossroads cutting plate. I've been using this one a lot lately. I'm not even sure it's gone back in our container for storage for a while. I used it on the live that I did for Scrapbooking Cards Today last week. This is just a fun piercing pattern. So you can see it adds stitch lines to the background. And I am going to pierce that into the background that I created. So I'm making a set of 6 cards, and my color combo that I have for cardstock is a little bit different. Instead of blueberry for cardstock, I went with blue corn, and then the green tea and the honey, the same as what we used on the stencil. I am going to take a little piece of tape. This design is, pretty geometric, so if you get it crooked, you are going to notice. So I like to put a little bit of tape on the back of this just to make sure that when I flip it over, it stays where I want it to be. And we'll run that through. Oh, Trisha says her mother-in-law is an avid quilter, so I'm excited to be able to make her some quilt-themed cards. I think that's going to be really fun. Exploring the different color combinations with these designs is going to be really fun too. All right, let's run a few more through. I'm not going to make probably all 6 cards on the live today. That would be a lot. Actually, I think I need a different piece of tape. This particular cutting plate that we're using, there's another one in our collection called Fanfare cutting plate that does something very similar. It stitches an arched design into your paper. Mindy has a great idea. She's going to try it in Christmas colors.
Ooh,
I know. You know
what?
what?
Sugar cube, Mindy.
I feel like did Heather do that on her live on her projects this month? Is that on the website? I think. I feel like she did greens and reds. I don't know why I'm picturing that now, but part of me is like, just keep going, Taylor, because if you do all 6, then you have 6 more cards to give with this. We'll go ahead and stop after this one.
You are right. Heather did it.
Heather did.
With some greens, but she used mold
Okay,
wine.
I got to show everybody because it is on Whitney's phone, but there it is. Mold wine, and it looks like a couple different greens and then sugar cube. I remember that because once I saw her upload her projects, I showed her mine and I said, great minds think alike. We both blended on Toffee, which really I was just, channeling my inner Heather as I decided to blend on Toffee. All right. Now we're going to pull out our Misty, and I'm going to grab another stamp this time. So what we just used was a cutting plate. I love all of the stamps that we have that sort of mimic different fabric textures. So this one is called Tweed, and you can see all of those tiny little hash marks diagonally give it a really fun texture pattern when you stamp it. So I'm going to stamp some cardstock pieces tone on tone, and I have, let's see, I think I need the green tea. We're going to start with the green tea ones. So obviously I did this in 3 different colors, so we might not do all of them here. Actually, I'm going to take this up because I'm going to explain to you. Sometimes my brain works a little bit slower than my hands. So I like to pick this up with my lid of my MISTI, and then I'm going to place this down onto the tweed design. And by placing it exactly where I want it, right on the stamp, I can see that line where it's going straight all the way down the stamp. And that's going to make sure that my stamp is straight. And that's important with a design like this, because you will be able to tell if you get it crooked. So we'll go ahead and ink this up down the center. My just press, here it is. All right, and there's what that looks like, tone on tone green tea ink on green tea cardstock. I'll go ahead and slip the second one in here. And I think I got it in just the right spot there. Okay, do you guys know what's coming next week? Whitney! I'm so excited. It's our birthday.
Oh, gosh.
And it is going to be a party. I tell you guys what. So make sure you're saving some of your fun for next week. And we are going to party it up for our 17th birthday here at Tailored Expressions. We've got some fun surprises in store for you guys. So... all right. And we'll go ahead and close that up. I'm just going to leave that at 2 pieces. I'll have to do the rest later. I don't want to bore you guys with all of my stamping and all of that. So let's go ahead and grab the die cut machine one more time. We're going to cut these out. I'm going to first trim down the center, because it obviously doesn't fit through the die cut machine the way that it is currently. So we'll trim down the center this way. And the die set that cuts these out really well, because we designed these to work with our calendar collection, the square tear-off calendar Stacklets works great for cutting these out. You can actually layer them if you want a little bit larger cut like this. You might have a little trouble with that running into the next cut. It's very close. It's just exactly halfway between the two. So I like to cut it with the smaller one. This is a 3-inch square. We also have squares in our square Stacklets set, which is just a set of all squares. But this square calendar Stacklets, if you don't have the squares, this gives you a little less expensive option to be able to cut out this square artwork nicely. Michelle, I'm not sure exactly what I said. She said, did you say save some of your fun or funds? You might want to save a little of both, I think. We are going to have a lot of fun. So definitely saving some of the fun for next week. And you may also want to save some of the funds, because I am loving the new birthday products.
Me too.
Aren't they so fun? We've gone down a rabbit hole and we're going to talk about it next week.
Sure are.
Okay, let me show you guys this. So my ink is not quite dry. Do you see how I got that on my my clear cutting pad? And I don't want that to transfer to the next piece that I die cut. So either make sure that you hit your piece with an embossing gun to dry it before you keep die cutting, or you can do what I just did and keep a baby wipe nearby, and you can just kind of, there it is again, and I'll just wipe it each time and dry it off before we move to the next one. That pigment ink does take a little bit of time to dry, and that's normal. It's not as fast drying as the dye-based inks. Just as long as you're aware of that. Darcy asked, what's the die set that cuts out thin rectangle frames? I think you're talking about the A2 thin frame cutting plate. So if you search that up, or Whitney looks like she's going to get you a link here for that as well. I think that's the one you're looking for. Okay, so there we go. We've got 3 of them cut out. I will finish the rest of those later. Are we going to do a giveaway at the end today, Whit?
Yes, I was going to ask you.
Okay. We didn't talk about that ahead of time, but I love the idea, so let's do it.
I did go ahead and send off to our lucky winner that was chosen
last week.
So it's going to be like a surprise in your mailbox.
Yes. We're not announcing the winners. We're just sending you the card.
We're just sending out joy, friends.
Yes.
Better than getting bills.
Truth on that.
Or like any of those flyer leaflet things that I get in my
Oh,
like,
yes.
where did this come from?
Do you guys get the Val Pack?
Yes.
We got our Val Pack this week with coupons and such. I mean, they're fun to look through, but definitely a card is better. All right, so I've got honey ink that I'm blending around the outside edge of these panels that we die cut with the Crossroads cutting plate. Okay. Couple of those, and we'll clean this off quick. And then I have to do the green ones. I've told you guys before that there are very few pieces of cardstock that I don't do some kind of dimensional blending on. I just think it makes your card pop. It makes it shine. And it doesn't take that much extra time, especially if you're mass producing like I am. Just do a couple at the same time. I'm only hitting the top and bottom edge of this one because it's going to sit in the middle here. So I still get that nice glow in the center. I have one more. Just kidding. Do this edge.
Carol said, now I need that tweed background. I know. I looked at that with these projects and thought, well, if that isn't perfect, I think it looks so nice.
We used that tweed background on our summer school projects, and it was perfect for that as well. It's really a good basic to have. Okay, so let's go ahead and adhere these down. A little bit of tape runner around the edges. If you're wondering, this piece was 3 1/4 by 4, and then the piece that I'm gluing onto is 4 by 5 1/4. So that traditional A2 layer. Now, if you are like Susan and you love to have everything perfectly aligned, you can grab your ruler here, and you should have exactly 1 inch on each side of your yellow, in this case, exposed on each edge. So you can take your little ruler, measure that out. I'm much more of an eyeball type of a crafter, but looks like I eyeballed pretty well. Okay, now fun little splatter. Okay, got my splatter box here. Now when I did my first set of 6, I was able to fit all 6 cards inside of this splatter box. I am splattering with a combination of liquid watercolor in chocolate truffle and in pigment ink for buttercream. So another thing I haven't done very often is splatter with that medium. One thing I will tell you that I learned, we'll do the buttercream first here. You do want to dilute this buttercream a little bit. I found that the first time I did it, I did not dilute it enough, and it took a very, very long time to dry. In fact, I ended up having to heat it with my heat tool in order to get it to dry. So make sure you dilute it a bit, and that's gonna help it to dry faster by adding some water in there. We'll grab a paintbrush, mix that medium around.
Did you say, and I might have missed it, the sizing for your green tea?
Oh, I did say, yep, it's 3 1/4 by 4 is the size of that piece, the green tea piece that sits inside. And then the other piece, the honey cardstock, is the 4 by 5 1/4, which is your typical A2 layer.
Thank you.
Now, one of the things I do when I splatter is I'm tapping off on the edge here to get the first really kind of big dots, big drops off of the brush so that I'm not getting any super big blobs. Another thing you can do is tap your finger on the brush instead of tap your brush on your finger. So a lot of people get better, more controlled results by tapping their finger right where they want that splatter to fall. Okay, let's take just wipe this up here. And we'll switch to the chocolate truffle liquid watercolor. This one does not need to be diluted. It's already diluted with water because it is a liquid watercolor. So I just put 3 or 4 drops of that onto my little mini glass board. And we'll pick up some of that with a brush. Different brush, don't worry, I switched brushes. And we'll splatter that out here. Okay. Christine says, I love the little glass board. I'm so glad. I love mine too. Our little mini glass board is not magnetic. It has, let me see if I can get I'm going to get this back here so I can wipe this off. I don't want to turn it over to show you guys without wiping that. So our little mini glass board has these 4 feet on the bottom that keep it from slipping around on your glass board. If you want to use it on your glass board, we leave it in our splatter box and use it pretty much exclusively for that purpose. All right. So these are going to take a little bit to dry, so let's go ahead and finish our next step. I'll bring them here as long as I don't run my hands through them. This is too funny. Ha! Of all the places that splatter could land, I have brown inside of white here, and brown inside of the buttercream here, and brown inside of buttercream. That's crazy. 3 splatters fell in exactly the same place. It's the little things, guys. My brain just works in weird ways. I saw that and I was like, they look like little eyeballs on there. How did that happen? And then I realized they fell in exactly the same place. Another thing you can do, so Anne is saying, who else needs to order the buttercream ink refill? I love that. I will say, if you do have the buttercream ink pad instead of the refill, you can also take and kind of smush some ink on your glass board and dilute that with water and use that to splatter as well. So you've got options. But if you're going to get the ink pad, you're probably going to want the refill at some point in time. Just because the pigment ink pads tend to need to be re-inked more than regular ink pads do. These are a little bit too long, so we're going to cut a little tad off here as we go. This one will go like this.
You know what's upon us as
What?
well? It's almost Advent calendar season.
Oh,
Ah!
is it? Oh,
Girl, we've been prepping.
I know, we
I
have.
am so excited. I hate keeping secrets. I'm terrible at it, and it's like, this is the time of year when it becomes the hardest.
Do I need to follow you around at Stamp Joy so you don't tell any of
Barb, do not find me.
secrets? Right. Barb will pester you until you have told all the secrets. Okay. I know. It is hard to keep secrets.
We have too many fun things happening. Oh!
All right, so these are not dry yet. I can tell because they still look glossy on top. I'm going to hit them with my heat tool so that I can finish these projects here. And before I do that, I just almost made a mistake, a boo-boo here. So we're going to go ahead and get that wiped up before I ruin my projects. All right, so here comes my heat tool. Amrita says, give Whitney a tiki mule and then ask. Ask her for all the secrets.
I'm like a locked vault, friends.
Oh, Whitney.
Did you see Michelle's comment?
No.
You should watch the episode from Numbers where they talk about the pattern of a sprinkle.
Oh. Wow.
We're going to have to look at that.
Numbers.
Taylor
That
likes
sounds like my
Numbers.
kind of show, actually. It's a show? You should watch yeah, it's an episode. Okay. And for those of you that haven't known me for a long time or heard me talk about this before I was a crafter, I have a degree in accounting. So I know those two things kind of might not sound like they go together in your brain. And, you know, really they don't. And there was a reason why I got out of accounting. But yes, I do love numbers. And I think that would be a fun show. I'm going to have to give that a look. So, all right. So there we are. I ended up putting these at a diagonal. There are a lot of different ways you could do these layouts. I know Heather has some great ones on the website with this particular square design with a little bit different layout than what I did. I also already did the sentiments. So I'm going to put thank you so much on here. I had some extra little pieces of foam tape. So I want to pop up kind of this bottom part of the sentiment that's going to hang over the edge. I'm going to pop that up with the same dimension of foam tape that I used on the quilt square. I just want to put that down in the corner here. And then the rest of it, you can either do liquid adhesive or a little bit of tape runner, and that's going to adhere to the quilt square then. Do my Mindy trick and grab my reverse tweezers. It's doing all the work for me. It's actually closed on that sentiment, and so all I have to do is find where I want to put it, make sure that it is straight, and hold it down while I lift my tweezers away. Yay! Then I have some card bases. These are Toffee side fold card bases. When I was making this project, I especially loved having my card bases already pre-cut and scored for me. So all I had to do was fold them and get them in place. Nice score with a bone folder. All right.
Your sentiments are done in buttercream, and what was the ink?
I used chocolate truffle.
Okay.
I think I got enough, but my tape runner is gone.
Okay.
I think my little buttercream drops still are not dry, so word to the wise, wait, and use your heat tool and make sure you use enough water. So maybe a few more drops than what I used would be helpful. So there you go. Buttercream cardstock and chocolate truffle ink. So lots of different sentiments. I thought these were really fun. I liked Carrie's idea for sewing sentiments. So I went all in on the puns with this one. You're a cut above, sending so much love to a material girl. I thought that was fun. All right, you guys, let me come back to you here and give you a little heads up about what's coming. We've talked about a lot of those things already, but we do have lots of fun coming. Now that we're into the burr months, this is the time, and we are going to have lots of fun in the coming months. So specifically in the next week, on Thursday, Susan is going to be here, and I think I'm going to pop in with her actually, and we're going to talk about our latest color launch. You can go on the Fans of Tailored Expressions page starting tomorrow and make your guesses on what the name of the new color is. We're going to reveal what that color looks like and how many letters are in the name, and then you get to guess. And then I will come on with Susan. She's going to craft, and I'm going to talk about all of the kind of fun things about how these colors go together with other colors in our collection, the shade sequence, the Olo marker match, all of the things. So that's happening on Thursday. Then on Saturday, Whitney and I will be here again with our release reveal. We're talking about our big birthday release, turning 17 this year, which is crazy. That is not lost on me. How humbling, and I just feel so grateful to be able to do this, that you guys have invested in and enjoyed following along with Tailored Expressions in creating things that share joy, and we love to be a part of your crafty journey. So every birthday, we love to celebrate you, our customers, and we are going to do that in some really fun ways next week. So you can tune in Saturday to see what's coming, and then of course I'll be live next week Tuesday, same time, same place, and we'll talk all things birthday. All right, everybody, until Thursday, have a good one. Bye.